And says anything. Njugush, good afternoon. It's good to speak to you on the Business Show today. I want to first start by asking you about the online space. During this pandemic, many artists have taken their stuff online, doing podcasting, vlogging, that sort of thing. But you, Njugush, went into the online space well before it was even a thing. And you did this crazy thing, Njugush. You moved from mainstream, which has millions of eyeballs, into the online world. First of all, you know, people will say, what were you thinking? And also, what have been the lessons you've learned in the online space for artists?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Yvonne. What an introduction. Thank you so much for having me. What I'd say is when we decided kutoka, coming from mainstream to online, it was a decision, it was a sad decision because ordinarily how it's supposed to happen for an artist is that your art, first of all, should give you direct revenue. You know, like for example, I act in a movie. I should be able to get direct revenue from the particular movie to be able to take me for the next couple of months. But that's not the case. There's a reason why a lot of, let's say, for example, actors have to be in a lot of productions to make ends meet because only one is not enough. Now, when we have that, and it's for everyone, you know, you find even the teachers are always striking, the doctors and whatnot. So it's for everyone. Everyone is affected. No one feels like you get what you should be able to get. Now, what that informed us is to be able to get something extra to be able to do. And that was online, because when you think of online, it's sort of direct. It gives you that sort of direct monetization. Now, when we decided to get online, it was basically another platform to be able to showcase what we had. What we had was not a complex idea for a TV show, but it was some small, you know, that era came with WhatsApp forwarding of videos. And when we were coming up with content, that was one of the line we were taking. Simple, short form content that can be able to be shared around. Now, what we didn't have is how to monetize that. And with time, we found corporates were willing to come on board, and thank God for corporate, because if we didn't have corporates, a lot of our artists, from musicians, from a lot of us, wouldn't be earning anything. Because when corporate came into the space, they were willing to pay for the content we are doing, whether it's that video, because the idea is to be able to reach as many people as possible. Now, I'm reaching my number of people. Someone was willing to put money on that video. Now, apart from that, before even we get to corporates, how else can we be able to monetize? Like, for example, let me give you an example. I have a YouTube channel. Maybe I have 100,000 people. If you told people to give you 5 shillings for what you're doing, which is a good and commendable job, 5 shillings. Let's say, for example, you're a musician. 5 shillings. Let's say, for example, you're an actor. 5 shillings. And you have 100,000. So half of those 50,000 give you 5 shillings. That's 250,000 at a go. So those are some of the other secondary revenue areas and platforms that maybe we are looking at, because the primary one that's supposed to be getting us that, because for example, when you look at a doctor, when you look at, you know, the people with structured, because again, for the creativity, we are not structured. Like for example, we have guilds, but they're not really functional, so to speak, for everyone. Not everyone knows about them. So we are not, and that's why again, when it comes to pricing, we have a problem, because how much someone should
standard,
be paid.
Right? So let me ask you this, because you've talked about, you know, how to make money and how to position yourself, but you know, art is a business. So could you talk to us about how you and Njugush have organized yourself? You know, I've told you this story many times. I've been in a room where Njugush is being discussed and Njugush has management. Like there was 2 or 3 people representing you in the room. But tell us about how you've organized yourself and your brand. Who are the people you have around you that are turning what you do so well into a business? So, you know, how have you monetized that? Forget what's happening outside, but how have you organized yourself in terms of a business?
I think once we realized corporates are willing to spend money, it was amazing. But now there was a hard, because you find yourself in a room and someone tells you, wewe umepatiwa deposit. Wewe ile deposit anasema amepatiwa, it's your whole salary. You know, so when you realize there's no structured form of payment that X amount of artists, or all artists, you get X amount of money. So we figured, I was lucky to be in a space where people were talking about branding, and And when we thought about it, because all we've been doing is churning content and that's it. So we figured, unless we get a proper management system from brand, because there's how people look at you, because people will look at you and give you a figure. Let's say, for example, Diamond's coming and you're in the same table.
And I'm wondering, what sort of figure would people give if you were in the room?
I am also wondering.
You and your tiny self, but you're a big brand. So tell me, just if you can just list in less than 30 seconds, who do you have on your team? You have a manager, you have who are those people and what do they do?
I have a manager who takes care of the logistics. If, for example, we need to shoot, planning the calendar and whatnot. So we have that kind of management and someone who sees if this is a product we should be able to push, if this is the way we should be able to go, that's one. We also have someone who takes care of the brand, how you look, how you wear, where you probably hang out, things you should not be able to do. Kuna DM, for example, imetumwa ulionekana wapi, brand and whatnot. For example, we have a scandal, how to handle it. We have that. Two, of course, we have an accountant, because unless now you're functioning as a company, as structured, that's the only way you're going to make it. Otherwise, si pesa ya usanini tamu, unakuranga leo unasahau kesho.
Okay. So let me ask you this, just as we close, Njugush. So kuna watu wengi wanasema, I mean, look, we're not as big as Njugush. I can't have a manager, a brand manager, an accountant, all of these people, maybe a video team that, sort of helps you with shooting and editing and putting that together. So just your parting shot, if you can, in a minute. So where do others begin who are just starting out? They're not at Njugush's level.
Just begin with content, because at the end of the day, content is king. Content is king. Before everything else will come. But if you have content, people will help you with your content. And when I started out shooting on my phone, and I still do.
Yeah. Oh, we lost him. And he was talking about shooting on his phone. And content. I do. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Carry on.
Yes, I was. How?
Okay, it's such a pity we've lost him, but I think the point of what he was saying is made about making sure that your content is sellable and is definitely worth